last night about, what?
Well, I felt bad. You know, when somebody asks you, do you want to do something, you're real quick to say no. I felt bad. I thought, well, all right, maybe I should
Pitch it.
support. And so I
Anyway,
said, I will.
we went to Dallas, as you guys know.
Well, we've been, I'm gonna go first and sit down and then he can have it. But we, you know, y'all know that we've been more or less commuting to Dallas, Texas for a while.
Yeah.
Our first trip was in June, and Eric's brother and our sister-in-law live in Dallas. And she had a terminal cancer. So we went to their 50th wedding anniversary in June, and it was lovely, really. And she was in good spirits and in good strength and good health. And it really went downhill, and she called the 1st of December. Well, we talked periodically, but she said she wanted to see family before she died. So about the 27th, we flew back to Dallas, and what we do is we get up really early and drive down to Pensacola and collect Eric's 98-year-old mother. And then we all climb on a plane and fly. And we were there when she died in December. She died the 30th. And if you've never, you know, watched or been present when life leaves someone's body, it's a very special kind of experience. I've been part of it on more than one occasion, and it's always amazing. There is a pervasive calm that takes over, and it's consistent with my experiences. But she died the 30th, and then my brother-in-law wanted us to come back for the funeral. Barbara said we didn't have to come back, but we needed to go back and, you know, be supportive of him. And it was a celebration of life, really. And there were over 200 people there. So it was, she was well loved by many, many people. My brother-in-law spoke, and he always speaks very eloquently. And their son spoke, and Barbara's best friend from her high school days came and spoke. And the thing that impressed me the most was she read a poem. It was called The Dash. Are any of you familiar? You're familiar. Well, I'd never heard it before, and I thought, oh, this is really, really neat. You know, the idea is that you are born on a certain day, in a certain year, and then you die on a certain day, in a certain year. And in between, there's a dash. So we're all in the dash. And how are you using your dash? How's your dash going along? It was, you know, gives you a whole different, we're all in the dash part. So use it wisely. Learn lots.
Okay, tell them about our cousin, the cousin Debbie, and the longhorn steer.
It's Eric's cousin.
Haven't seen him in 50. Haven't seen him in 50
Yeah, and
years.
I don't know her from Adam's house cat. Nice woman, you know, nice woman, but she has 12 longhorn steers in her yard. I just think must have a really big yard. But she said one day one showed up, and it didn't go home. You know, and they don't wear tags or, you know, collars or anything. So, and I don't know how in the world she got, you know, 11 more steers, but she's got 12, and we don't have a picture, but there is, and they're impressive. That's it.
I haven't seen this woman in 50 years.
Yeah, and I had never seen her, so.
I was telling you how big Dallas is. We were back, this was 20, 30 years ago, we wanted to go see her. We knew she was somewhere in Dallas, Fort Worth, you know, that Dallas area. So we started driving. We drove for an hour trying to find her. And finally we just gave up. We just said we can't find her. You know, we knew she was somewhere in that Dallas-Fort Worth area, but we said heck with it. One interesting tidbit, Monday was Martin Luther King Day, so we knew we had to pick up his wife's ashes from the funeral home, and Barbara wanted to be cremated. So the burial funeral home was called Aria, A-R-I-E, I believe is the way you pronounce it or spell it. And so Tuesday morning we got up early and left, and like I said, every place you have to drive, you have to. It takes an hour to get any place in Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we drove and we finally found the place. You have to use GPS to find any place. And, it was $1,600. So this was for the cremation. He found this out the night that she passed. He got two quotes, one for $7,000, one for $1,600. So we're going to make plans. This is just general information for anybody who might want to. We don't know what he has a note for if you want to transport out of state. So they just the church that he is at, they have a little burial plot.
They call it a columbarium, and it's a wall that has, it looks like safes in it.
Yeah.
It's people. They have, it's a called, I've never heard of such, but it's a columbarium.
There's a bench out in front where you can sit with your loved one, and it's just the neatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Okay, to my, on 10 of 18, we had a Hurricane Michael. Now, this is my interpretation of it. I believe it started in Pensacola, but it worked its way up to Panama City and then to Mexico Beach. It destroyed Mexico Beach, or at least 80% of it. We also know that it worked its way up to Albany, Georgia. It did an awful lot of damage to the pecan groves in Albany, Georgia. It did a lot of damage to my house. It did $3,600 damage to my trees. And I know it did a lot of damage to the trees in your neighborhoods. It did a lot of roof damage to my house. 3/11/3 of 18, my wife was going to Thomasville to a home tour of homes, and she told me not to get up on the roof.
The last words out of my mouth.
On the roof.
Being the good husband that I am, I waited a half hour. And then I got the ladder and I got up on the roof. I was down 2 ladder rungs, and I don't know how this happened. I don't remember anything, but I did a back flip or a front flip, and everything was fine because I landed on my head. I knew I landed on my head because I had 7 stitches when I woke up. I had 6 broken ribs, 2 broken vertebrae, broken collarbone, a punctured lung,
Broken shoulder blade. Shoulder blade,
shoulder blade,
yeah.
the collarbone.
The collarbone and the shoulder blade. You wiped out the right side of his body.
Yeah, I got the right side real good. Shoulder blades, okay. Anyway, I was a mess. But like I said, I was in good shape because I landed on my head. I was laying on the deck outside, and Winston was licking my forehead. I couldn't move. And no one was there, and I had at least 4 hours to go. So I managed to, I don't know how I managed to get into the house, so I must have, but somehow I got into the house, got a towel, was wiping my forehead, and somehow I got into the house, and I laid there for at least 3 hours. And things, you start thinking about, your life starts passing before your eyes. You start thinking about stuff. And you start thinking about all the things that you should have done, all the things that you haven't done, all the things that you could have done, things that you could have been nicer to your wife about. Things that you could have done differently. I like to think that I had some inspirational thoughts then. Some of the inspirational things that I think about are, praise God for my life, and thank God for my body world. Larry, thank God for my life are the things that we learned up in the mountains. Thank God for my body world is another one of the things that we learned up in the mountains. Those are inspirational thoughts that I think about when I wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I say, thank God for my life. It's kind of a mantra that I have. And if I say it enough, I stop worrying. Pretty soon Jerry came home. Then the ambulance came. Then I was at the doctor's, at the hospital, and I asked 2 doctors if they ever thought I'd walk in. Neither one of them answered me. I spent a week in the hospital and a week in rehab. And I had a nurse that tried her darndest to look at my shortcomings. She wanted to give me a bath. And my right arm wasn't working. And she made me take a bath. She wouldn't let Jerry help me. But I managed to take a bath. And she stood there and watched me. But I got out of the hospital.
We got out.
We got out of the hospital. Anyway, what I've learned from all this is that when you reach the age of 70,
Oh,
I was 78, don't get on the ladder.
listen to your wife.
It's a good idea.
Listen to your wife.
That's it.
You want to get up here and talk again?
No, but say amen. You're done.
Amen. You're doing
You're fine.
You're done. Stick a fork in it.
what I'm saying.
Listen to your wife.